What's up, Hippo lovers? WTF happened in November 2023, and it was an emotional month for a lot of people in the Age of Empires community. First of all, T90 and the Viper are back on Twitch. Obviously, 2 years, the two biggest creators on Twitch were gone, where most of the English-speaking live content is hosted, and some people felt like, okay, that gave a lot of room to other creators to grow, but in total, it was just lower viewer numbers there, and I can show you that now viewer numbers have grown quite a bit. Obviously, lots of stuff happening at the same time, in the sense like we had Warlords, so way more viewer numbers in that regard. We also have the summer hole ending, right? But if you think about, okay, well, Age of Empires, what is its state? Actually, really solid. The one hidden behind me is 2023. Blue bars are 2022. Orange bars are 2023. So you can see a big growth from last year's November to this year's November. By 21%, Age of Empires 3 growing quite a bit, and Age of Empires 4 growing quite a bit as well. So the whole franchise quite a rise, and Age of Empires 2 21%. It's quite solid for a 1 year growth there, so lots of good perspective. Also, announcement from T90 that Hidden Cup is returning. Obviously, the arguably most beloved community tournament in Age of Empires, crazy viewer numbers, and T90 felt like he couldn't really host it on Facebook, not really reaching as many people as he wanted to, but now back on Twitch, that will be his goal. So T90 hosted a tournament, then the Viper is already instantly jumping into a tournament as well called Cartographers. A 2v2 tournament that is having, whenever you see this, the finals today, or already had the finals within the last 24 hours. And we had lots of big names signing up, and the deep run and the final that is happening will be Aftermath against GL Honey Badgers. That is Jordan and the Viper. Gamer Legion with Tato, Dowd, and me is going to have to play for the third place. 200 kilograms is the team with Vivi and Mr. Yo. Against Hard and Leary was really hard for Sad there. And 4-3? Do I see who was winning here? Those. I was just a bit confused. And yeah, pretty interesting. Also, that Yo Vivi beaten Mikov MBL 3-0 there. And lots of close sets, as you can see, 3-2s there in the quarterfinals. Finals best of 9 happening this Sunday evening. Yeah, coverage was not as crazy, I would think. Like, lots of people sitting this one out. Hera was traveling. Not a lot of coverage from Dave, not from me. T90 was doing other stuff as well. So, like, Viper, Memb, the two flagships that are covering everything. And obviously Onlu being one of the hosts as well, being mixed in there. And yeah, pretty interesting to see. Obviously, quite a nice change there with the 2v2s. And other news, NAC was announced as well in November. That hippo placement can be improved a bit. Obviously, Nili's Apartment Cup, a tournament hosted in an apartment by Nili. And that's going to also be the last event of myself, simply because I will quit, or at least like heavily reduce my streaming and Age of Empires involvement after it. I will do a goodbye week, and lots of positive messages and lots of people saying, wow, that is absolutely crazy, that you kind of want to end with a bang. Long video, you can watch it, it's time, like 10 videos down. And also, it is a massive tournament. Obviously, my overall costs are roughly 240,000 if I want to do the NAC of my dreams. And sponsor acquisition did not go too well. And therefore, I came up with a plan how the community can support, and I try to give something back, right? In Age of Empires 4, NAC 4, we got like I think $45,000 in donations in total, and I just want to give something back. So if you ever feel like contributing on PayPal or via Twitch, that's absolutely crazy, and like that's me trying to give you some rewards, and overall it has been received pretty well. Happening early January. Then we have Warlords, the major tournament of November. Memb TV's hosted event. We have 7 different categories. People pick from different categories. And overall, one of the most competitive tournaments we have in Age of Empires. And basically after KOTD, the second flagship tournament of Memb. And we went deep into this one. We had a similar to Swiss stage format where we have 16 players. If you win 3 times, you are through to the quarterfinals. If you lose 3 times, you are going down. I think a very reasonable format, and I could see it using myself. It ended up with Doubt, for example, having a really tough road. He was the only one, I believe, to face 4 players that went into the top 8 and did not make the cut in the end. Really close sets. He was leading 2-1 5 times and lost 3 out of those 5. Closed out against ACM and Jordan. And yeah, that's what you can see. Hard and freaking Andy going 0-3. And then we went into the playoffs where Tato beat the Viper, Hera beat Yo in the semis, and then in a really good final. If you think, okay, what Age of Empires sets do I want to see? This one is something to rewatch for yourself, I believe. 5-3 there, and really good games. Now, obviously, you know the result, but there were some really entertaining games in there. Certainly one of the better finals we've seen in a very long time. Then there was some controversy. There are new civilizations that came out, I think, like 2 days before the tournament was starting. Georgians and Armenians. And obviously, this is tricky now as the tournament host, right? Do you include those 2 new civilizations? What can you do? And the decision was, okay, we want to include those, but monitor closely if there will be any bugs or any problems with the civilizations, right? And I think that is the right decision. Having a tournament there and not including the new civilizations would have felt very wrong to me. But there's one unique unit that had a bug. It was reported very early on, and admins decided to keep it in the tournament. For the draft format, you always have 4 bans. They increased the ban amount because of the new civilizations. But there were 2 very famous spots where Hera against Balt did not ban them, and Velessa against the Viper did not ban them, and there were 2 heavy showcases of the unit doing double the intended damage, extra bonus damage against buildings, and therefore completely melting them. And lots of people felt like, wow, that game was not pretty, especially the Viper against Velessa incident. We were in an important quarterfinal match, and lots of people actually said like, oh, shame on Viper that he used this one. Lots of people also feeling like, okay, wow, it could have been banned, pre-banned. And after all this, people calmed down. Players agreed to not use Monaspa for the semifinals, finals, and 3rd place match. So that was absolutely clean in that sense. Obviously, it would have been nice. The bug was reported quite some time ago. If developers were fast enough to change it, there were some other bugs fixed very quickly coming with it. Monaspa bug was not included in this one. Or the tournament organizers seeing, okay, this one feels really broken and could have been banned. The awareness was there, and we had a bit of drama there. Then Memb. During the tournament, and obviously now the tricky spot that Viper is back, T90 is back, and there were a lot of eyes on tournaments before, already announcement of NAC, like lots of eyes away from him, and he was in a weird spot where he was hosting a major, shaping up to be super successful tournament, and he didn't get the recognition and the support that he was maybe hoping for, and made a video about his concerns and thoughts. and felt like, wow, if it's continuing like this, maybe it is my last event. And this was viewed controversial, like most things in the internet. Some people felt like, wow, he's not happy with the viewer numbers. He will never stop doing ST tournaments, otherwise his channel would die. So that, okay, he had 2.5 people working full-time. It's kind of tough to have 2.5 people working full-time for online events. And the major part, though, felt like, wow, Memb really transparent. Memb feeling that he needed more support for his tournament, right? It's like hours and hours going into organizing an event, coordinating with all the admins, and then the support was crazy. He got so many donations, put more into the qualification as well. He got rewarded himself and was overall pretty happy with the outcome of the tournament, because that is what he said in a following video then, where he said, okay, and kind of addressed lots of the stuff that we talked about as well. Viewer numbers above $40,000, which is crazy good for an Age of Empires 2 tournament. And yeah, overall pretty happy with that. And he announced that with the support and the carry with the community, he will continue hosting S-tier tournaments, which obviously is what all the supporters were hoping for. And said that it will take some time, though, for him, because he wants to give NAC and Hidden Cup some breathing room. And then he is thinking about like 5 to 6 months to do his next event. And he's flirting with the idea of hosting an offline tournament, which obviously feels like the last big thing for him to do. So everything good there in Memb City. Hera not happy. He was very active on Twitter, and the post that got most traction is him saying that he loves Age of Empires a lot, but it's not really at the state that he enjoys right now. Kind of introducing a bit of the term of power creep there, as you can see. It is basically civilizations playing to only one single strength. Typical thing would be something like Spanish only playing for conquistadors. Monk balance not where it is. Monk balance changes were announced for the upcoming patch, and he didn't like those either. There will be a new tag introduced, giving you more more conversion time. Overall, the variance was reduced a bit, like it was X and Y seconds, and now it's X plus 1, Y minus 1, to keep it a bit more compact there and reduce variance. And yeah, so that one got lots and lots of posts, lots of people interacting with it, posting their concerns as well. And yeah, that's the big question, right? How bad of the state is Age of Empires right now? I personally believe that balance is better than ever. The problem is more like people are so much better nowadays at knowing exactly this is how we need to play this civilization, right? I think 2 years ago, players often made opening archers with Frank's work, for example. And that's a thing we won't see this year or next year. I think you have to play to the strength of your civilizations to 100%. Otherwise, you will just get punished or won't get away with it. So it feels maybe a bit more one-dimensional playing one civilization. And that's something I could absolutely understand. Certainly a lot of good points raised there. And quite an interesting discussion on how good of the state the game is right now. And clip of the month will be featuring Armenians, a new civilization that got potentially very broken unique tech, giving you extra splash damage on your demos. Something that Dowd might have forgotten for a moment.
What is this demo attack? Oh yeah, bigger blast radius. The fuck? What the fuck just happened? I remember that in the last second. I guess it was too late.
Remember, Age of Empires 4 players had to play like this for like 4 months or something, or maybe even longer. Yeah, that was the WTF happened of this month. Look ahead for next month is December. That's basically NAC qualifiers for 2 weeks and lots of small tournaments happening at the same time. Obviously, Liquipedia, a great website to give you more insight for that. That's it from me. Goodbye, Hippo lovers.